All right, well that was amazing, and we have some more music coming a little bit later in our program, but very fortunate. That's just spectacular performances. Again, I'm Mayor Ted Betancourt, and just a few remarks I wanted to make and introduce the program a bit. This is a continuation of a tradition in the city of Peabody, Student Government Day, that I believe is over 40 years old, and it's just been amazing, wonderful opportunity for us here at city government to learn a little bit from our students and about our students, but also for our students to learn a little bit about the city and what we do every day, the different jobs and tasks and responsibilities that all of us do. We're a pretty big city here in the city of Peabody, over about 55,000, and like any big city, there's a lot happening, and we've been very fortunate in our community to have a number of hardworking people that have dedicated their professional lives to helping the city of Peabody. They could be doing a number of other things, but they've working here in our city and contributing greatly to certainly not a perfect community, but a city that does a lot well. And from our healthcare professionals, finance professionals, city attorneys, engineers, police officers, firefighters, city councilors, school committee members, a whole number of people contribute every day quietly behind the scenes to make sure things operate in an efficient manner. And of course, our school department does amazing work for our students every day. So very fortunate to have a number of people that are contributing every day, and it was great to have our students learn a little bit about our city, learn a bit about people that work here, and to be able to see how our city functions every day. We certainly weren't expecting an April storm. We were hoping those days behind us when the winter passed, but here in city government, you got to be ready for anything and adapt, and we have some wonderful people here working every day for us. So very proud about that. As I said, this has been a tradition in the city for a number of years. It was started by a group of teachers over at Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. I did want to mention some of their names. Andy Metropolis, Mr. Frank Hardy, John Andruskevich, and a number of other professionals. I did want to mention, sadly, one of the teachers that started this event and for a number of years ran this event is being waked today, and I wanted to mention her and ask for a moment of silence for Mrs. Jan Anderson. If you can please give a moment of silence for Mrs. Anderson. Thank you. I remember fondly her running around on Student Government Day, getting everything in place, just like Mr. Pedersen and Mrs. Prouty did today, and they did a terrific job helping organize. And I wanted to thank Darrell Ann, Beth, and Chris from my office, as well as everybody from City Hall for helping make this day work. It was a very special day. The mayor's office, along with the city council and some other offices, we went on a tour of the senior center today, and although the weather wasn't great, it wasn't a big crowd, we got to dance with some seniors, and we got to see what takes place over at our senior center. I often speak about the fact that we have the very best senior center in the state, which I truly believe. We have a number of cities and towns that always ask to come look at our senior center and see what we do, but we provide meals and all kinds of activities, dances every Thursday, and all kinds of activities and games and things for our seniors, which is terrific. And we were able to see that in action today. And then we went over to the police station and got a tour of the police station and really got a sense of how the department works and all the different facets to policing and emergency response that takes place in our city, which was great to see. And I know everybody here got to learn a little bit from their counterparts about what takes place in the city. And again, just a wonderful opportunity to take a moment, step away from schooling and learn a little bit about our city, which was terrific. I wanted to ask to come up and say a few words our school superintendent, who takes great pride in this program as I do, and I wanted to ask Dr. Josh Vidala to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a very special day, and I think, as I think about this day, it's very unique for the city of Peabody to be able to pull off something like this, and a ton of credit goes to Darrell Ann McCarthy, Beth Amico, Brian Pedersen, and Amanda Prouty. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you. You know, a lot of people criticize city government or the government in general as things take a long time or things never get done, but you know, I'm here to say that Peabody is a very special place, and it's very unique that things do get done, and things like this get done very quickly, and it's something to celebrate. And I think one of the big reasons is because the people in this room really work together. We have an incredible city council that works very closely with our school committee to get things done. And I think it's really important to recognize that, you know, we take our students here and we see that they're able to come and just see a little slice of life in the part of the city, and it's really impressive to see all the things that have gotten done. I think back, you know, 4 years ago when these guys were in the 8th grade and entering their freshman year, and it was really tough. And everybody had to come together in this city to make sure that Peabody High School was the largest high school in the state of Massachusetts to come back fully in person. And everyone in this room and all the city departments came together, the police department under Chief Griffin and the fire department under Chief Dowling. They all came together and they said, how do we keep our kids safe and how do we make this work, because we want them in school full time. And they did that together, and that's really a microcosm of Peabody. And so, you know, today we were able to, you know, celebrate together, come together as a whole. And I think that's really just, you know, a piece of Peabody that we don't celebrate enough. And I think it's all the people here that make Peabody great, and I think our students are the biggest slice of that joy that we see every day. So I want to thank you all for this opportunity, and thank you for bringing us together. For our students today, some of the things that we got to do is, you know, we came over to central office, we got to tour a little bit of the offices, we got to visit the Carroll School and read to some of the students, see some of the little kids get really excited to see all these seniors and hear about the wonderful things that they're doing. And then, thanks to Tom and Sharon Gould, we got to, it's the one day of the year that we get to have ice cream before lunch. So we were able to get a treat at Treadwell's before lunch, and then we were able to join our counterparts here. And so it's really a wonderful day. I want to thank Mayor Betancourt for his leadership, and of course the rest of our city government. It's a wonderful day, and today we're here to celebrate the kids, and we're going to hear a lot about some of the things that they're doing. So thank you very much. This is one of my favorite days of the year.
Thank you, Dr. Vidala, and it's now my pleasure to introduce another great supporter of this program, Peabody High School Principal Brooke Randall.
Good evening, everyone. I am Principal Brooke Randall from Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. Super excited to be here tonight. This is my second year as principal at the high school, and I just think back to last year's Student Government Day, which was also just an amazing day and evening. And little did I know at that point, but really this event is a huge kickoff too for all of the wonderful things still to come in this spring season for this now senior class of 2024. So I'm really excited to be here tonight. We had a great day today at the high school. My counterpart, Principal Edgar Spinoza, and my assistant principal, Mr. Bedard, and his counterpart, Allie Betancourt. We had a great day at the high school, showing them a little bit of what we do on the daily. Not everything, but a little bit of what we do on the daily at the high school. So I just want to again thank Mayor Betancourt, everyone here at City Hall who helps to put this together, our wonderful advisors at the high school, Mr. Pedersen, Ms. Prouty. They work extremely hard behind the scenes too, from early in the school year to really make this day and this night happen. So really appreciative of them. And just all our wonderful students who took part today. I want to thank all of the counterparts for coming out and doing this every year. As Mayor Betancourt said, it says over 40 years of a tradition here in the city of Peabody. I don't know many other cities and towns that put this type of event together for high school students. This is extraordinary, and so I'm just so thankful and pleased that we get this opportunity. So thank you to all the counterparts for stepping in and to do this for our kids every single year. I'm really appreciative of you and look forward to this continued partnership each and every year. So thank you to the students again. Once again, I hope you all had an awesome day, and we really look forward to this school committee meeting and city council meeting coming up. So thank you all very much, and we'll continue with the evening.
All right, thank you, Ms. Randall. For the rest of the agenda, we're going to next do the introduction of the student and their city counterparts. We're going to have the students and the city counterparts meet here in the middle. We're going to take a photo, have them walk up together. And then following that, we're going to have another musical selection from our outstanding singers, and then we are going to go to a school committee meeting and a city council meeting, which both meetings are lined up to be excellent, some great motions and topics that will be coming up during that meeting. So I'd like to call back Mayor Swanson to come up, and he's going to introduce the students and their city counterparts. Mayor?
I'm back, everyone. All right. So once again, I'm going to be reading out the names. So starting with the Chief of Staff and Business Liaison, Megan Ryder. As a pause, you can hands. What's up? Can I wait for the photos to be done before going to the rest?
Yeah.
Okay.
So once they start walking, then you can go to the next.
So good. Administrative Assistant to the Mayor, Roxani DeFavojas. Executive Assistant to the Mayor, Katie Amico. Councilor at Large, Yanni Pappas. Councilor at Large, Matthew Ryder. Councilor at Large, Alexander Silva. Councilor at Large, Joey Tebow.
You could say, and that's with Councilor Tom Rosenthal.
With Councilor Tom Rosenthal. Councilor at Large, Robbie Marcatulio.
With Councilor John Turco.
With Councilor John Turco. Councilor Ward 1, Ryan Yaffe.
I don't know what the councils are doing. Just go.
Councilor Ward 2, Ashley Booza. I'll wait till they start posing and I'll go.
Yeah, good idea.
Councilor Ward 3, Katie Pimentel. Councilor Ward 4, Kira Buckley. Councilor Ward 5, Dylan Faletra. Councilor Ward 6, Ashton Amzel. School Committee Member Sophia Dixon. School Committee Member Precious Gallus. A little fast. School Committee Member Megan Collins. School Committee Member Matthew Auerbach. School Committee Member Roxani DeFavojas. School Committee Member Maya Yaffe. Animal Control Officer / Special Police Services Jill McGrath. Assessor Edward Duran Mate. Auditor Theodosia Cortadelis. The school resource officer isn't going to be here today.
Okay, so just skip that.
Yeah. Brooksby Farm Manager Isabella Chiampa. Building Inspector Jacob Wardle. Cemetery Superintendent Juliana Leshai. Chemist / Water Supervisor Dea Sala.
You can skip this one. I think she's there.
Director of Engineering Jessica Chow. City Solicitor Alicia Walsh. City Treasurer Ashla Correa. Community Development Director Victoris Dunny. Director of Health and Human Services Larissa Souza. Director of Information Technology Vanessa Porcelis. Director of Park Services Andre Denny. Director of Parks and Recreation Forestry Louis Jufrey. Executive Director, Council on Aging, Riley Linger. Finance Director, Hannington Sanfuma. Healthy Peabody Collaborative Outreach Coordinator, Vanessa Coloni. Human Resources Director, Penayota Papapanakis. Facilities Director Olivia Martinez. Chairman, Municipal Light Commission, Sonia Soli. Manager, Peabody Municipal Light Plant, Nicholas Dresser. Public Health Nurse, Charlotte Tracia. Purchasing Agent, Ian Nguyen. Superintendent of Schools, Clara Oliveira. Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Rachel Bornstein. Assistant to Superintendent Human Resources, Trevor Pacheco.
Eli not here?
He's not here, no. He's not here.
Kelly.
Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent, Nicole O'Feary. Executive Director of Remote Learning and External Partnerships, Sophia Dixon. School Business Manager, Marissa Simmons. High School Principal, Edgar Espinosa. Assistant High School Principal, Ali Betancourt. Chief of Police, Ryan Fletcher. Chief of Detectives, Toy McCoy. Confidential Assistant to Police Chief, Logan Lamazney. Chief of Fire Department, Abby Betancourt. Fire Inspector Yasmin Giacalone.
And I'd like to introduce our mayor, Elijah Swanson.
Can we please have one more round of applause of an amazing full house tonight? We will now be starting our school committee meeting. School committee members, please take your seats. We're gonna call the school resource officer, but we can't.
I want to see Eva answer some questions.
Just call her on speaker.
I know, you can do that.
Come on, speakerphone.
So what do we have? Your
Our
assistant
assistant.
super?
Yes, I'm the
Superintendent. How do you? All right, so we're going to sit right here. Superintendent here, mayor here, assistant superintendent there.
Bro, are you serious? I don't got I don't.
How do you think they get through these long meetings?
I know.
Does Marge have a seat?
Do we have any motions? School committee member Maya Yaffe.
I would like to make a motion to implement an updated security system for Peabody Public Schools, specifically with the use of school IDs as a new form of security for students and also staff.
Second.
We can open this up for discussion. Maya Yaffe.
I would like to implement this to avoid students from other schools coming into Peabody High during school hours, any adults after hours that aren't checked in that can just walk in, and it will assist teachers in bathroom duty, hall monitoring, and cafeteria duty to identify who is who.
Any comments or questions? Sophia Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through the chair to Maya Yaffe, what is prompting this decision or key card issue? Thank you. I yield the rest of my time back to the mayor.
Maya Yaffe.
What prompted this was just kids that come into Peabody High that should not be there, that do not attend this school, that just aren't checked in, aren't questioned, and are just let through the door.
Precious.
I would like to add a proposal for the motion where I believe that the security system with the school IDs would also help with attendance, making it better for students and teachers alike, where students can check themselves into school, so it saves time for teachers, giving them more time to teach, and it also gives students a sense of responsibility. I end my time and give it to the mayor.
Any other questions or comments? Megan Collins.
I would motion to the chair to the police chief to answer a question regarding the importance of identifications in schools.
May the police chief please come up. Please identify yourself.
Is it working? Okay. Sorry, can you repeat it?
The importance of identification in schools for security purposes for both students, staff, and faculty.
So it's very important because especially the high school, a lot of students will just kind of walk as if they own the hallways when some kids just don't even go to the school. And it's just a safety measure that we would need to have in the school, but it would be something that we need to heavily enforce because I know a lot of students will forget, whether it's like a day-to-day thing or like they'll just forget like their student ID, because I know a lot of kids don't even have theirs just because they either lost it or just never even got it.
Any questions on what was just said? Claire Oliveira.
When would this be implemented? Because I think implementing this in the middle of a school year would be very difficult and might end up being confusing as well.
Maya Yaffe.
I think a good goal would be to start at the beginning of next year to have all students have their IDs shown on their person at all times to avoid anything that was mentioned previously.
Any questions or comments on that? Precious.
I would also like to add that implementing the security system with the school IDs next year would also give us time for the new high school being built, and that can be implemented there. So this would be a trial run for the school system and the IDs.
I have a question for Maya Yaffe. Will these be presented as like lanyards held around the neck, constantly shown?
Lanyards would be a good idea, yeah. And everyone that goes to PBDI already has their ID card, so it would be pretty simple.
Thank you. Megan Collins.
To the mayor, to the business manager, to see if this would even be in our budget to implement it for next year.
Can the business manager please take the stand? Please identify yourself.
Marissa Simmons. I would work with the facility director to get an estimate on how much they would cost.
Any questions or comments? Mayafi?
I just have a comment saying that the only thing that would need to be purchased was the lanyards and not the IDs themselves. So it should be quite simple.
Roxanne?
So if the only thing that needs to be purchased is the lanyards, what about the actual system that checks in the students? Oh.
Any questions or comments over that? Megan Collins?
To the mayor, to the director of informational technology to talk about the systems and how we would implement them and what we would need to get.
Will the Director of Informational Technology please take the stand? Please identify yourself.
I'm Vanessa Prusalis. I'm the Information Technology Director. And then what we would need to be able to implement this we would have to know what technology we need exactly to use for this system.
Would anyone like to respond? Mayafi?
If the ID cards were necessary to use as scanning in and out of front doors or side doors, there already are the scanners for teachers already installed, so it would be just putting students into the system.
So we'll be taking the student IDs and implementing a keycard scanner to them in addition to that?
If wanted.
Thank you, Informational and Technology. Is there any more questions directed towards them? Rachel Bornstein?
Do you think we would want kids coming inside, in and out of the building on their own call?
Would anyone like to respond? Mayafi?
Absolutely not. I think that's a horrible idea. It would just be to see that they are a student during school hours and still have a security guard at the door saying, you go here.
Claire Oliveira?
Could we have the principal to the stand? Because what would happen if students were not using their ID cards?
Principal Randall, may you please take the stand?
Oh, sorry.
May you please identify yourself?
Edgar Espinosa, high school principal.
Very well.
Could the question be repeated again?
What consequences would there be if students were not wearing their ID badges? Oh, mine's working.
Fine.
There you go. We would implement a 3-strike policy. Your first 2 warnings would be warnings for not having your lanyard on you, and the third one would be disciplinary consequence, like a detention or an in-school suspension.
How would people keep track of how many strikes they have in the system?
Teachers or deans would put a note on the students they striked for not having their lanyard on them, whether that's Google Docs, on their email, etc., they would know.
Thank you. Any questions for the principal? Matthew Auerbach?
So we go to school with roughly about 1,500 kids, more or less. Could there be an easier way to keep track of this? Because I know there's a lot of students and it could get out of hand.
Principal Espinosa?
I'd say we'd hire more security staff to monitor these students that don't have their lanyard on them or that do have their lanyard on them. I'd say about 2 per house on each floor, give or take, to just monitor the halls and see who has what.
Megan Collins?
Like what Matthew said, with 1,500 kids being in the school, do you believe with a lanyard it would even be effective, or kids would do it?
Principal Espinosa?
Yes, I do, because it's just a lanyard, simply just putting it around your neck, and especially when you can just buy your own, you can wear kind of whatever lanyard you want as long as it's appropriate. So I think students could have sort of fun with that, as well as putting their ID on them.
Any questions or comments? Precious?
Can I have the principal's opinion on how the IDs would help with attendance and how they would help teachers and students keep track of their own attendance?
You may respond.
Sorry. It would help because I think we would have sort of our same attendance policy, just with the IDs and sort of
Hold, please.
I'm back. So in terms of attendance recording and attendance taking, there wouldn't be much of an impact. However, if a teacher sees that the student is not there, there is a referral, a disciplinary referral action that a teacher, dean, etc. can take and use on the student.
Any final comments on this matter? Maya Yaffe?
Do you believe that the IDs on a lanyard would assist in having the lunch lines move faster because they would be able to scan easily and have access?
Principal Espinosa?
100%. It's way easier than having to type in your number. You could just scan it, go.
If there are no final comments, I'd like to call for a roll call. The roll call may proceed.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Roxani?
Yes.
Ms. Yaffe?
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Gallus? Mr. Allrock?
Yes.
Ms. Dixon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Any other motions this evening? Megan Collins?
Motion to implement a semi-annual OSHA inspection of all Peabody public school buildings.
Principal Espinosa, you are all set. Any seconds?
I would like to second the motion.
Any comments? Megan Collins?
I would just like to comment on the standards of our buildings currently. Our high school is currently falling apart almost, and our elementary schools are extremely old, besides a couple that have just been replaced. And a semi-annual OSHA inspection would allow for us to see what we need to fix. Even though we are getting a new school in some time, it's important that we handle the issues that we can handle now versus in 8 years.
Any questions or comments? Maya Yaffe?
I believe this would be incredibly beneficial due to the amount of mold, mildew, dust, and broken equipment that is present in our school and the elementary schools. So that's all.
Sophia Dixon?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to ask what kind of inspections are going on currently, because to my knowledge, we already have like some sort of like cleanings of the schools, but I could be mistaken. I yield the rest of my time.
There may be cleanings, but at the same time, I have a teacher who has proven that the dust in her room just gets pushed to the corners and does not actually get swept up. You can see stockpiles of dust build up in her room, and it smells like must in her room. In addition, there's a lack of airflow based on where her room is situated in the building, from where when you open the window, where the air blows in. So it is just, the room is insanely musty, and it causes headaches. Maya Yaffe?
I would like to ask through the chair to the superintendent if there were any federal or state grants that could assist with this.
Superintendent Oliveira?
Could we defer to the health department and call up the health department to see what inspections we currently have in place?
May the health department please take the stand? Please identify yourself.
Hi, I'm Larissa Souza, the Director of Health and Human Services, and we currently have in place a 1 to 2 time a year inspection on cafeterias. We also inspect the air quality at the public schools, and we also have an annual inspection overall of the schools, so we can work on that to second an OSHA calling.
Any comments? Matthew Auerbach?
So when I say this, every PBDI student will agree with me, but there is a trash barrel on the third floor A house that is catching rainwater. It's actually there today. Not only is that like a health hazard, but it's annoying that a trash barrel is literally in the way of a main hallway. Is there going to be a quick solution to that so students can pass through the hallway easily and not have to see rainwater being caught in a bucket? Thank you.
Maya Yaffe, would you like to add to that?
Yes, there is also an incredible amount of leakage on the auditorium stage and other roof leakage throughout the building.
I'd like to second that. We can file a complaint to the facilities department so that they can come in and check on that.
Any comments? Megan Collins?
Motion to the mayor, to the director of facilities, to further say how they would fix and maintain these issues.
Thank you for your time, Larissa. Will the Director of Facilities please take a stand? May you please identify yourself?
Obi Martinez, Director of Facilities. yes, those are real issues, and we will try to work on those as soon as possible, but we do have a new high school being, well, hopefully.
I'd say we're working on that for about 5 years, but we have to help now to make sure that the needs are met.
We're gonna have a new high school be built in about 5 years, but we need to work on those issues now so the needs will be met. Thank you.
Precious.
I would like to question, what about the rest of the students who are not going to the new high school but are remaining in Peabody High School that is right now? How will you deal with any sicknesses or illness or health hazards that may affect them? And is it really important to backfire on those students?
Absolutely, that's a case-by-case basis, but we need to. We need to make sure these things are done timely, and we can't wait for the new school. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Megan Collins?
I know it seems important to build a new high school as well, but what about the elementary school students who are going to be there for about 6 years in the new kindergarten class, and how their air quality and everything will be maintained, if not fixed, because there's currently no implemented plan to rebuild all of the elementary schools. I know some of them are, but not all.
We just finished renovation on the Welch School. Next, we will be working on the Carroll School.
The center school.
Center School.
Any additional comments? Megan Collins?
Are there plans to work on any other of the elementary schools besides the two you just listed?
There's always work done to the ventilation systems at all the schools.
There's always work being done to the ventilation systems at all the schools.
But major projects, only the next one is the center.
But for major projects, the next one is the center. Thank you.
Any additional questions or concerns? Precious Gallus?
I would like to call on the school administration on how a safer and healthier school environment could help students learn better or ensure that they have a better chance at learning.
Thank you for your time, Olivia. Will school administration please take the stand?
I believe that it can be hard to learn in an environment where there's things surrounding you that maybe are falling apart, but I also think that everything takes time, obviously, so these major issues must be seen and addressed as soon as possible, but I feel like there's some minor issues that can wait.
Maya Yaffe?
I would like to ask a question through the chair to Megan Collins.
Megan Collins?
What specifics will OSHA check in the schools?
You may proceed.
OSHA checks specifically all like wiring requirements, safety, plumbing, any air quality, or just overall workplace safety of the workers in the building, not necessarily just the students, but everyone going in and out of that building, making sure everything's up to code and safe.
Any questions or comments? I do think that an annual inspection is a good idea, or is it a semi-annual? I do think a semi-annual inspection is a good idea, and OSHA has visited our schools in the past, but only when major work has been done. Yafi?
Does that include the gas leak that happened around a month ago?
Absolutely, that does include the gas leak. Sophia Dixon?
Through the chair to Megan Collins, when would these inspections occur, and would they interfere with the kids learning and during class time? Thank you. I yield the balance of my time.
Megan Collins, you may proceed.
Well, times on inspections are going to be further deliberated, but they would most likely be during big breaks, like Thanksgiving break, February break, April break, or whenever the school committee overall votes on and decides. So that's something more that we can talk about in the future.
Any comments on that? If there are no final comments, I'd like to take roll call.
Ms. Collins,
Yes?
Ms. Roxani,
Yes.
Ms. Yaffe,
Yes.
Ms. Gallus,
Yes.
Mr. Arrock,
Yes.
Ms. Dixon.
Yes.
Motion carries.
If there are no further motions, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Megan Collins?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you for an excellent meeting. Before we turn it over to the City Council meeting, refreshments are being served.
Once. All right. That's on, then you're talking. That button right there. All right, can we take our seats for the city council meeting? That was our first cookie break. We've never had a cookie break in a city council meeting before. Maybe we have.
I'm convening the meeting. We have a few motions on our agenda, so to start us off, I'm convening the City Council meeting. We have a few motions on our agenda, so to start us off, Councilor Tebow.
First motion is to implement discussion of implementing a recreational center. So I'd like to discuss building it, implementing programs, and the possible inner functions of it.
Any questions? Oh, Councilor Buckley.
Where would we be getting the money to pay for the recreational centers, and where would the profits made from it be going towards?
Well, ideally, the funds we receive from the rec center would be directly given back to the community. The main point of the rec center is to support the lower income community to avoid, possible crime rates, maybe lower them down a little bit. So maybe implementing back into the rec center would be great. Maybe providing them to food pantries or other local providers for clothes, food, other necessities that the lower income community may need. As for the funds to build it, perhaps there may be some redirection of funds, perhaps from completed developments, because I understand that there's a new police center being built. So perhaps once that's built, we'll be able to redirect funds from the police department, considering their new facilities, and maybe temporarily displace them towards the rec center, and at some point, once we get that up and running, redirect them back.
Councilor Feletra.
Where would the new rec center be going?
Can you repeat that, please?
Where would this new rec center be going?
Councilor Tebow.
So ideally, we'd like to, in a way, replace vacant municipal buildings. I understand at Centennial Drive, there's a lot of vacant office space there. Perhaps we can work something out, with purchasing that area. Perhaps maybe even replacing the gelatin factory towards middle school. Maybe easy access for the younger generations would be the ideal location, but perhaps if something else works out, then something else works out.
Councilor Pappas, anything to add?
I just had a question for the Director of Community Development. Like, with everything going on in the city, new schools being built, like, how are we going to get staff to build this new rec center? Like, how important would it be?
Can the Community Development Director come to the stand, please?
The podium.
To the podium.
Just introduce yourself.
Could you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Victor's Dooney, the Director of Community Development. Could you repeat your question that you originally had asked?
I was just asking, like, where you'd get the staff to build this when a lot of it's being used building new schools, and how much, like, would it cost?
That's a good question. We'd have to look into that because, like, it's too early to know right now. So, yeah.
Or where do you think it should go?
I'd have to do a study for that, get everyone else's opinion on that.
Councilor Marcatullo, anything?
I'd like to propose an idea to put this new rec center at either the vacant Kiley School or the soon-to-be vacant police station.
Any other councilors? Councilor Silva?
I'd like to ask a question to the Director of Facilities, asking, no, not the Facilities, Finance Director, where will we get the money from and how much it will cost to build a rec center?
Could the Director of Finances come up, please? Introduce yourself.
Hennington Zafuma, Director of Finance. May you repeat the question, please?
Councilor Silva.
I asked, how would you get the money and how much would it cost?
One moment. At the current moment, we won't know how much it costs, but in order to secure the money, we would have to borrow a bond.
Any questions? Counselor Papas?
How would that affect like the other projects going on?
I'm sorry, may you repeat the question?
How would that affect like the other projects going on financially?
One moment. Well, it's gonna add to the additional costs, and until then, we won't know the immediate impact.
Counselor Marcatulio?
I would like to ask the Parks and Rec Director to come to the podium to ask him a question.
Could the Parks and Rec Director please come to the podium? Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Louis Jouffry, the Director of Parks and Recreation.
Have you ever looked into building a new rec center in the past?
Yeah, we've had a few previous times, not building a new one, but repurposing old buildings. One that's been very on our mind is the old Kiley School, because it already has a good amount of facilities, being it already has its own gym that's not up to date, but could kind of be nursed back to health instead of having another building where we have to start anew with a lot of the facilities.
Do we currently have the staffing to handle this, or do we need even more staff?
At this time, we currently need more staff. We are looking for staff for a lot of our other projects, like for stuff coming up over the summer. So, you know, granted, this would be an expansion of the Parks Department, so more people would definitely have to be hired for this.
Do you think this would generate a lot of revenue for the city?
Yeah. Currently, we have stuff like FKO or other stuff at other schools, but this would allow us to have at the rec center, kids get bused there and have specific after-school stuff for not only preschoolers but for adults. We could have programs for like high schoolers, middle schoolers, wide variety of summer programs. Just larger classes you could offer, specifically at the Kiley, having its own classroom space would be, very useful for that said purpose.
Thank you.
Counselor Papas?
Who would be paying for like the busing and transportation? Because the Kiley School is pretty far from everywhere else in Peabody besides West Peabody, so.
Currently unknown at this time for the fact that without the recreation center, we don't know the exact programs that we currently have there. Granted, there are ideas, but you can't really have it without knowing what the actual recreation center will be.
Counselor Ryder?
I'd like to ask the mayor his opinion on the rec center and if he has any funds that he knows that could help fund it.
Mr. Mayor?
Before I get into the funding, I think a rec center is a really good idea, and it's going to help a lot of kids grow up and build a better community. You guys want in the Kiley School, but there's a possibility that may be used for additional spaces other than a school, and the police station may be used for offices. It might be best if it's located somewhere downtown where there's more access. In addition to what Yanni said also, the limited access at the Kiley School. Funds, one more on that. The cost of a new rec center will definitely be expensive, so as a city, we'll have to look into that and see what grants we'll be able to obtain.
Counselor Tebow?
I would like to call up the principal of the high school for a very specific question.
Could the principal please come up? Introduce yourself.
Edgar Espinosa, high school principal.
Counselor Tebow.
So I'd like to preface this by saying that ideally the rec center would be a place for all students, young and older, to find community and a place to grow. Specifically, we'd like a place in the rec center to perhaps provide food services for the less fortunate citizens of the city. So would it be possible to perhaps intertwine the school's culinary program with the rec center?
It's a good question. It would be possible because those students in the culinary program, yes, they are students and learning, but however, they are providing food nonetheless, good or bad. But, you know, they do have a teacher that will assist them. So I think it is possible, and I think it will work.
Anything else to add? Well, I think it's a good idea and something that the wards definitely should be taken into consideration, but there'll definitely have to be more studies for where the location should be. If there's no other questions, we'll take a roll call vote.
Councilors Marco Tullio.
Yes.
Pappas.
No.
Yaffe.
Yes.
Silva.
Yes.
Faletra.
No.
Booza.
Yes.
Ryder.
Yes.
Buckley.
Yes.
Tebow.
Yes.
Amsel.
Yes.
Pimentel.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-2.
Is there any other motions this evening? Councilor Ryder?
I'd like to propose a motion to propose a study for solar panel incentivization and installment within the city and the long-term effects they will have on municipal finances. This can be reviewed in conjunction with the state solar rebate program.
Any questions? Councilor Buckley?
About like the solar panels and everything, I know that it's like beneficial for like the climate and stuff, but just from like an economic like standpoint and like the fact that there's going to be like a bunch of like apartments getting put into place and the newer complexes that have already been put into place, how would we financially like support like putting all of these panels into these different complexes as like they are going to keep expanding and that we already have a lot already to fund still too?
Councilor Ryder?
There are a lot of government grants that help with renewable energy, especially solar panels, so that would also help with the financials of it. And then often many cities have been able to work with many condos and apartment complexes to actually build solar panels on top of them already, which is something that we could look into with many of our apartment complexes in the city.
Anything to add? Councilor Faletra?
Say these solar panels are going up in an apartment complex and then one of the tenants does not want these solar panels put in place. Will they have to find a new place to live or get rid of their lease, or will the solar panels go up against their wishes?
That would have to be worked out by the apartment complexes.
Councilor Silva?
I'd like to call up the municipal commission manager to ask them how much money this would cost and where they think that we could put it.
Could the light plant manager please come? Introduce yourself.
Nick Dresser, Municipal Light Plant Manager. And the money, wait, can you repeat that question again?
I asked how much would it cost and where do you think we could put it?
It wouldn't be just up to where we put them. It's like an individual person's choice, because it wouldn't be fair to non-solar panel users. So the bigger roadblock would be we wouldn't want it in our backyards, like the viewpoint of it, where people wouldn't want to just have solar panels around, just like Beverly near the Roller Palace. Everybody sees the solar panels on the hill, and it's not a sight to see, but we'd have to get grants and loans, because solar panels are not as cheap as you think.
Councilor Marcatulio?
To the Light Plant Commissioner, how are solar panels a stable source of energy with the recent common fluctuations in the weather?
Councilor, introduce yourself.
I'm Sonia Soili, and I'm Light Municipal Chairman. Could you repeat the question, please?
How are solar panels a stable source of energy with the common fluctuations in the New England weather?
So sorry, can you repeat the last part?
How stable are the solar panels with the fluctuations of the New England weather?
I personally would not say that they're stable enough due to the amount of rain and undesirable weather that we get up here. So I wouldn't say they're too efficient.
Councilor Yaffe?
I have a question. Do you think it would be beneficial, in order to lower the cost of the solar panels, to work with private businesses for their installation?
It probably would be beneficial, but again, we would need grants because we're not able to make solar panels, neither are we able to install them.
Councilor Papas?
Do you think it would be beneficial to put them on top of the new high school being built and the new municipal safety building? Because that could also save utility costs for those schools. And people wouldn't have to see them because they'd be on top of the school.
It would be a great idea, but again, you would need the principal's permission for that.
Councilor Bouza?
Could I call up the Director of Community Development, please?
Could the Director of Community Development please come up?
What information do you know specifically about the PACE program we have going on right now?
Could you repeat your question?
What information do you know about the PACE program we have going on right now in Peabody?
Well, information right now is very limited because we really haven't did a poll on that yet. So we need to do a poll on that before we could fully do that.
You need to do a poll on the PACE program that's already running?
Sorry about that. So right now it's just a municipal program, so it's not currently, from what I recall, active. Yeah.
Councilor Marcatulio.
To the planning director, what are your thoughts on this matter? That being, how viable are the solar panels?
Was the question towards me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, could you repeat it?
Yeah. What's your opinion on the matter? That being, how viable they are?
What is viable?
Like how well they'll work for the city?
Oh, yeah. I think they would help a lot, especially with reducing I think it will help reduce greenhouse emission gases and reduce energy costs.
Would you put them on your own house?
Yes.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Councilor Feletra? Did you have a question earlier?
No.
Oh, okay. Councilor Tebow?
I would like to direct a question through the chair to Councilor Ryder. So ideally, this program, in order to get it started, would provide incentives to those who wish to be involved. I was wondering if you would know any incentives we could provide to citizens who would like to be involved in the program. And if not, could you maybe direct the question to someone who is maybe more knowledgeable?
Councilor Ryder?
I would like to consult the Peabody Municipal Light Commissioner about what programs they might have on that.
Can the Municipal Light Commissioner come up?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Do you guys have any funds or programs that would help with the incentivization part of the solar panels?
We don't have any upfront dividends. The only way that we'd be able to help is by installing the, sorry, one moment. Sorry. It would be the only thing that we can help with would be the net metering program, which would basically be paying the client for the amount of solar panel energy that they generate.
Council Ryder?
I'd like to make a vote to keep this in committee until we gather more information.
Does anyone have any other comments before we close the vote? Councilor Marcatulio?
Through the chair to Councilor Ryder, how would the rebate program work?
Councilor Ryder?
As of right now, we are not sure. That's something we'd have to do a study in.
Councilor Feletra?
Due to the building of a new police station and the potential of a new rec center going up, I think we should put this motion off until later, until these other projects are finished, so we can at least afford to make the expenses.
Any other comments? Councilor Tebow?
I feel as if the funding for these programs can be redirected from other funds. We aren't necessarily taking away too much money from the city. Obviously, we have to moderate our spending, but I imagine through the finance department, we'd be able to moderate our spending and properly put in motion these projects instead of holding them off infinitely.
Councilor Feletra?
They wouldn't be held off infinitely, just until these other projects are finished.
Motion on the floor is to keep this on the committee. Is there any other discussion on that?
No further discussion.
See none, roll call vote.
Councilors Marco Tullio,
No. No.
Pappas,
Yes.
Yaffe,
Yes.
Silva,
Yes.
Feletra,
Yes.
Booza,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Buckley,
Yes.
Tebow,
Yes.
Amsel,
Yes.
Pimentel.
No.
Motion passes 9-2.
Are there any other motions?
You say seeing none, motion to adjourn.
Okay.
They're not going to do that.
See none, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Did I just say?
You already said it.
We are adjourned. It's not a vote.
Could we just please get one quick city council photo?
All right, there's just a couple of items as we wrap up. Thank you, Tom. A couple items as we wrap up. If we could just get settled for one moment. I wanted to thank all of our city officials who are here today. Their presence meant a lot. I wanted to give special thank you to our city council members today that are here. We had a great turnout for our city council. Ward 1, Craig Welton. Ward 2, Pete McGinn. Ward 3, Stephanie Peach. Ward 4, Julie Daigle. Ward 5, Dave Gamache. Ward 6, Mike Higgins. Our councilor at large members that were here today, Tom Gould, Ann Manning Martin, Tom Rosignol, and John Turco. Thank you all for being here. And our school committee members, John Swanson and Joe Amico. Thank you for being here and helping out. We do have a few scholarships we wanted to give out that we're going to be picking out of a hat in a moment. Before we do, I just wanted to say to all the parents and families that are here today, and I say this every year in some variety, but this year it was really very clear that this is a very special class, incredibly respectful, incredibly interested in what we were talking about. I heard so many great comments from so many of our city officials about how the students were and the respectful manner in which they acted and all of that, and it meant a lot. And that's why this program is so important, and we continue to do it every year. So I wanted to thank all the students for how you were today. It was a great day, and we were thrilled to have you and to meet you and learn a little bit about you. So thank you. Okay, so we do have 9 scholarships today. There's a number of scholarships, or 2 from our city council that donated. Each member donated money for a couple of scholarships, as well as our school committee members and school administration offices, and then some scholarships from the different city officials that all pooled their money to do some scholarships. But before we get to those, there's two scholarships today that I wanted to mention for the first time this year. A very special scholarship that we're going to be awarding to 2 students, $500 each. It's donated in the memory of Tim Spanos. Tim was a longtime city clerk here who was an instrumental part of running this program for pretty much from the beginning. He passed away late last year, left a big hole in our city, a very beloved figure here in our city hall and across our community. And Janet, his wife, and his family wanted to honor some Peabody High students with a scholarship in his memory. So for the first time, we're going to be just picking out of a hat 2 students, 2 seniors that'll be getting scholarships this evening, and I'm going to have Mayor Elijah pick out the scholarship. The first one? The first ones are residents of Ward 3. Yep, the first one is for a resident of Ward 3 at the request of Janet. That's where Tim grew up.
Sonia.
And now the next one will be for a Student Government Day participant. So all the seniors will be in the basket.
Yep, we got to get it all ready now.
So the mayor will select that one.
Mayor, or actually, we should maybe have Sonia pick the next one. How's that? Sonia.
Abby McNeil.
Oh, Abby's not here. Abby's not here. Okay, the next, there'll be 2 $250 scholarships from the City Council, and thank you for that. So we'll pick out of a hat here.
Sophia Dixon.
Great, excellent. Now we're going to do 3 $250 scholarships from the school committee and school administration.
All right, so this is the next winner of, school committee.
Ryan Fletcher. Ashton Ansel.
Robert Marcatrulio.
So those were 3 from school committee, we have 2 more?
We have 2 more.
2 more, okay. Yeah,
And finally, we have 2 scholarships from the city department head. Each of those are for $300.
Megan Collins.
Great.
Vanessa Marcellus.
If you can take Abby's name out, I want to see.
It's okay. All right, well, congratulations to all the scholarship winners. Before I turn it over to our mayor for some final remarks of the evening, I just wanted to ask if you could join me in giving a round of applause to Darryl McCarthy, Beth Amico, Chris Ryder, and everybody here at City Hall for putting this together. Thank you. And to close us out, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Elijah Swanson. Mayor.
Good evening. At first I was told I was gonna have to give a speech, and I didn't have to, and I'd have to. So I just kind of got it together before I came here. I would like to thank everyone for coming here today, and even though due to the inclement weather, I hope you guys still had a good time. And I feel like that weather kind of added to it because I never expected to be caught in a hailstorm with the mayor and get hit in the face with hail. I feel like as young adults, it's kind of important for us to step in the shoes of the people in the city that we kind of rely on, and that it helps us connect with them, and we get to deal with how much pressure they get put on them. And it's also good to be educated on how our city works. In addition, none of you were forced to be here today. You guys all kind of took the step to do this, and it really shows how much you care for your city. And as one of the officers at the police station said, yeah, it says you kind of go above this. You kind of got to go above, I can't speak today. You guys go above and beyond, and really shows how much you care for your community. And I guess I'll end the night by saying that while many of you are seniors or soon to be seniors, and that you guys are going off to college or doing something else you love, Peabody will always be a place that you fostered to become the successful person you are today, and that you couldn't have done it without the people in this room. So I would like to thank everyone and have a nice night.